Hey everyone, it's Brian Slayman. I want to give you a sneak peek in the EnGenius Cloud app. I think last week we talked about, or a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how we added SSIDs and how to change SSIDs within the EnGenius Cloud app. You don't have to go to the GUI. You can be remote and actually make changes to the SSIDs, radio changes, and so on. So within the app, I'm going to log into now. You can actually see a thing called Client Timeline, and that's really key. So within my cloud account, I have multiple networks, and the one at the bottom called Slayman Network, I'll go into that particular network. Looking at my dashboard, at the bottom you can see that there's SSIDs. We talked about that, like I said, about 2 weeks ago. But what I want to show you now is clients, and I'm going to go into clients. And I can see all the clients that are connected to my network, and they could be connected to different access points within my network. Right now I have 3 access points. One is wired, the other 2 are meshing with one another. So client timeline, it will show me the progression of the clients through the network, the roaming, when it band steers, when it fast roams, when it moves from 2.4 to 5 gigahertz, and so on. So right now I'm looking at my laptop. My laptop's a little more stationary than my phones or other mobile devices, so they should stay pretty stationary. It moves occasionally because I'm moving it from maybe downstairs, upstairs, and so on. But it gives you great insight into a client device, just some overall information: IP address, MAC address, what SSID I'm associated to, my current RSSI, which is a -48, which is great. I'm right close to an access point now, the operating system. Then we have this thing called client timeline. Client timeline really tracks the movement of the device and how it's associating to access points and disassociating to access points. And you can actually look at it per day. You can choose your day. Obviously, I'm going to look at the latest day, which is 4/26. That's today. And you can see that I started, you'll see that green indicates 5 gigahertz and blue indicates 2.4 gigahertz. So you can see that I'm moving from, say, for example, from 5 gigahertz to 2.4 gigahertz, depending on the signal strength and where I'm located within the house. But you can see that this top line here at 11:10 a.m. I'm associated to an access point that's called living room. The SSID is called SlayNet. I connected to living room with WPA security. And you can see there's a little timeline right here too. You can actually hit that little drop down and it gives you more information, such as pre-associated band steering suggestion associated with living room. I can actually scroll down and look at more events. Band steering suggested, associated with my access point that's in a garage, for example. So it gives you a lot of great information. It shows you that I'm transitioning over to 2.4, maybe because the signal strength is too weak and for 5 gigahertz, so I needed to bump over to 2.4 briefly and then back to 5 gigahertz. But it gives you a really good insight into clients and how they interact with the Wi-Fi network and how they move about within the network in itself. It allows you the ability to troubleshoot, and because it's on an app, you can troubleshoot remotely. So if a client of yours is having problems, you can actually look at the client, and if it's a specific client, you can look at that specific client. But if it's multiple clients, you can look at obviously multiple clients to see where there's a problem. So if it's a roaming problem, maybe have the output power, the radio output power too high, for example, or the access points are too close or they're too far apart. I may not have fast roaming on or enabled. I might have band steering suggested, not forced. So there's multiple things I can change. The output power, like I said, channels, maybe they should be on auto versus on static, and so on. So there's a lot of things that I can look at and start to kind of think about when I look at client timeline and the client details when I'm trying to troubleshoot or fine tune a Wi-Fi network or a deployment that I've just done. So that's really all I wanted to talk about. I want to thank you and have a great week.